Hello and welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth, and I am joined by my lovely special guest star, Pepita, and my co-host, Mark. Mark, we missed you yesterday.
Yeah, I had to go on a little business trip.
What business do you have?
Laying on the couch, not doing the podcast.
Oh. Shit. I gotta find somebody to stand in for me. Pete, you wanna try? Nah.
Just pukes
There's
again.
nothing there. Happy Monday Night Raw, or as I like to call it, Monday Night Lana Goes Through the Announce Desk. Still going strong, 3 weeks.
Oh, no, isn't it 4 weeks now?
Might be. If it's been a month of this, fine. An episode. It was a something.
Also, stay tuned to the end of the podcast where we will give our predictions for NXT's Halloween Havoc.
And I will once again give my predictions last minute.
I'm going to give mine too. We're going to do ours live.
Ooh.
Because neither of us did our predictions.
Fun stuff for us.
Alright, so news?
Yeah, we should probably get into news actually, because I have a fuck ton of news to talk about today.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Does any of it involve Chris Jericho?
Shockingly, no. Sorry, I'm just retweeting the tweet.
I mean, with Chris Jericho, you could mention that he donated $3,000 to Donald Trump.
I think you just mentioned that.
I did. And Undertaker donated $1,000.
I mean, not shocked on either front, considering who they are as human beings.
But the news,
not good.
The news portion with Chris Jericho's end is that the max you can donate legally is $2,800. So there's a possibility what he did was illegal.
I feel like that can't be true though, because I feel like a lot of like companies and stuff like shouldn't, but they donate a lot of money to these people.
Maybe not over the course of 1 month like Jericho did.
Yeah, I mean, maybe over the course of 1 month, I'm sure there might be some statutes in place.
And
God, I love
she's
having
out.
AirPods. I can just keep talking.
And she's off the
I can
podcast.
keep talking. I'm still here.
What? So the news?
All right, let's get into the news. There's a lot of fucking news. A lot of it's kind of boring. That's why there's a lot of it. First things first, The Rock busted his head open during a workout and needed 10 stitches. Yeah.
How have I not seen any article about that? The only stuff involving The Rock that I've seen on my Google feed the past week was that he made an appearance on Impact. And that was it.
To be fair, this was the first piece of news that I saw when I looked at Wrestle Talk today.
Uh-huh.
So it might be new news.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just had to include that because how, buddy? Like, what the fuck were you doing?
I mean, working out involves big weights.
Did he like drop it on his head? My God.
Big machines could have tripped and fell.
Fair. I don't know what this hair is doing today. Like as my hair gets like a little longer, it starts doing shit like this where I'm like, I don't know where he came from. In addition to that, see what this note is? Okay. I'll see what So In addition to that, in 2005, going on random injuries that have happened or could have happened, apparently in 2005, Randy Orton revealed that he nearly set himself on fire during a wrestling show for WWE.
Vibes.
I'm trying to I want to pull up the article to talk about it, but it's just funny because we were just talking when we were watching the pay-per-view the other night, and we were like, I wonder what would happen if those fire cannons went off and set something on fire. And then Randy was like, well, let me tell you. I do really want to pull this up though. I have to find where it is. Bear with me for just one moment. All right.
I'm gonna stay silent.
So
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Randy said that during a match, he managed to get a lot of flammable liquid on his legs. And I believe this was around the time. This was when he was fighting the Undertaker. So he had to light the Undertaker's casket on fire or something. And because he had all this flammable liquid on his legs, he lit the casket on fire and had to jump back to avoid also going up in flames.
Was he asked to take care of the casket?
Yeah, exactly. They asked him to take care of the casket. They just meant bring it off stage.
For those who don't know, that's a reference to The League.
That's also what happened with the Wyatt family lake house, if you will.
That's a reference to the Wyatt family lake house.
Also, in addition to that, WWE has filed a trademark for Sin Cara.
Didn't he leave?
So 2 people have played the role of Sin Cara over the course of time that Sin Cara has been a thing. So, step 1. I guess they might be bringing it back. Bringing him back. Bringing the character back. I don't know. But they filed the trademark, so. Vibes. Also, the WWE, after going back and forth with saying, no, we're not leaving, or yes, we are leaving, and we don't know if we're leaving, WWE is reportedly leaving the Amway Center soon. Yeah. It's because basketball is going to start up again soon because they had their 2-month break, and they need the Amway Center. So right now, the WWE is in a fun little position where they have to find a stadium that is new enough to maintain all of the basics of the performances as far as lights, pizzazz when people come out and shit like that.
Probably the LED screens too.
Plus the Thunderdome stuff. So they haven't found anywhere yet, but they're supposedly leaving in I think a month and a half from now.
They might as well
which seems like a very short-lived time.
It might as well become a traveling show again.
At this point, I would just say that they should find a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Because, that just ended. Football just started. You're not going to get a football stadium. Basketball's just starting up. You're not getting a basketball stadium. A newer baseball stadium is probably going to be easier to find. They've been looking in places such as Texas, Illinois, and I believe North Carolina. So.
That's right.
We'll see what that leads to. All right. So let's get into the meteor stuff. Dumbass Brendan Vink has finally changed his fucking name because he knows who rightfully owns that last name and any iteration of that last name. Me. He is now Tony Modra. Modra? In addition to that, Daniel Vidot is now Zion Quinn. Omari Palmer is now Odyssey Jones, which sounds like a fucking 70s or 80s film noir, Odyssey Jones. And Sydney Bateman is now Akeem Young.
These are all so, like, out there.
Oh, and Zion, by the way, is spelled Xyon.
So are these, like, their Retribution names, or...
I don't know. I just know that everyone's changing their names over on NXT right now, and I just think it's very funny. Because, like, I looked at all these names and I was like, Sydney Bateman's fine. Omari Palmer is definitely fine. Like, Daniel Vito, like, I guess whatever, but, like, why Zion Quinn?
Odyssey Jones?
It's like when they, like, name cats at a shelter. Yeah. It's like when they name cats at a shelter and, like, they can't reuse a name at the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, suddenly one's name is, like, Pudding. And you're like, yeah, okay, Pudding.
Kind of messed up that none of them named themselves Jackhammer. Or, Reply
That
All.
is Jack Hammer. That's Mia Yim's name. Don't take it from her.
Oh, true.
Daniel Bryan has said that this is going to be his last run as a full-time wrestler, which I feel like he said multiple times, so I'm not really sure.
Wait, whose last run?
Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
He's calling it quits after this. I don't know what his last run means, but this is it. I guess he's going to retire after this. Relax. Stop getting spinal injuries. Concept. And the final piece of news, and not a piece of news I'm thrilled to talk about. So Danny Burch has come under fire, in a sense.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. Danny Burch has come under fire because I believe it's a Twitter exchange. Yeah, it is. Between Jay Aletto, Road Dogg, Shane Helms, and Danny. So Jay Aletto said, the left makes you feel like if you walk into a Wawa without a mask, you will get COVID. They push fear, 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 and they've lost me because of it. I could get it with a mask or without a mask. How do we explain the people who always wear a mask and get it? Road Dogg said in response, that's common sense, Jay, and it's rare these days, but they think we're crazy too. Social media isn't helping, that's for sure. Shane Helms then said, people get killed wearing seatbelts too, but wearing one still increases your odds of not dying. See how that works? That's common sense. And Danny Burch decided to, his only entry into this conversation, by the way, said, not everyone dies catching COVID. Shrug emoji. This then devolved into Shane Helms saying, not everyone dies catching HIV. I don't want that shit either. Road Dogg then said, to be so woke, you aren't very tolerant, Shane. And then Shane Helms said, never claimed to be woke, never had to, and tolerance of ignorance doesn't help anyone. People's lives are at stake. Maybe you should try to wake up if that makes you feel edgier. So good on Shane Helms, but Danny Banani.
Danny better not get Oni sick.
Oni lives under a park bench, dude. He's susceptible.
No wonder, there's been so many outbreaks among NXT. They're all a bunch of COVID deniers.
And it's always like the last person I expect too. Like, there are many people in NXT. I would take Cameron Grimes. I would take Robert Stone. I would take Dexter Lumis any day above Danny Burch.
Wait, you mean like you like them more, or they would be COVID deniers first?
I believe that they'd be COVID deniers first. They're like native Floridians.
Yeah, but
There's
also
something in the water down there.
I don't know. I trust the three of them. They seem like, as much as it pains me to say it, good Floridians.
Yeah, see, the last time I said somebody seemed like a good Floridian was Bobby Fish, and look where we are now. QAnon.
To be fair, he's not a Floridian.
Yeah, that probably fucked him first. Anyways. Not shocking. Somebody who teams up with Patton McAfee, be a COVID denier. Or at least a mask suspicionist.
Yeah. Anti-masker.
There we go. Thank you. That's a way to say it.
Um.
And that's the fucking news. It's a lot. It's a lot of nothing. I'll admit to that much.
So, matches and promos.
If you're feeling like it.
Today's episode. Whenever you're ready.
Sorry, Pete.
I'm just enlarge your camera so focus is on you right now. So everyone can see you do this.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Any day now.
Ah, shit. Shit on a bum.
Bum shit's on me.
Good enough.
And we're back. Alright, so we start off with me.
Yeah, we do. You were tonight.
Yeah. I fought Drew McIntyre and I won. But no, we started off with Drew McIntyre, actually. Talking in the ring, giving us kind of an aftermath of Hell in a Cell. He's still cheery, shockingly, after yesterday's results. And he's definitely gonna go back for the title. But we have an appearance from, shockingly, The Miz and Morrison, where The Miz basically just teases that he's going to use the contract on Randy Orton. Maybe. We'll see if he rings true with that. But then Drew gives a nice Glasgow kiss to The Miz. And then John Morrison tries to do a Scottish accent to say, hey, I talk like that too. Which then he receives a good old punch from Drew McIntyre. And then Drew says, I think Drew challenges The Miz to a match later on. And then we move on from that. What are you talking about?
You missed many things.
I'm trying to sum it up so I'm not hitting every single small detail.
After John got punched, there was the overhead belly-to-belly toss suplex, and then Miz took out Andrew's kneecap. And to be fair, Drew does not say that he's going to fight The Miz. He says he's got a great idea. He just has to run it by management first. So.
Imagine he challenged him for the Money in the Bank contract.
I was kind of thinking he would, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a very Drew thing to do.
But then after that, we had AJ Styles in the ring. Prior to his match with Jeff Hardy, I don't even remember what AJ was talking about. Just nonsense. But then Jeff Hardy comes out, and we have our match.
Okay. AJ starts off by punching Jeff. Jeff goes off the top rope and is caught by Jordan, our sweet bodyguard. Then there's a kick to the back of Jeff's neck, and then a brainbuster to Jeff. AJ runs and dives at Jeff, but Jeff dodges, sending AJ face first into the buckle. Then we get the lovely, typical trio from Jeff. I think it's like an enziguri, double leg drop, then a drop kick. And then we get double fists down to AJ. There's a second enziguri to AJ, and then 2 feet to AJ's little chin in the corner. AJ gets back up. He powers through. He gets a backbreaker onto Jeff. And then Jeff pulls off a jawbreaker onto AJ. Then Jeff does the thing that never makes sense to me because it looks like it just hurts both of them equally with the Russians, the side Russian leg sweep. AJ is then on the second buckle. Jeff's with him. AJ slips free and sends Jeff's head into the top turnbuckle. Then AJ pulls off a rack bomb to Jeff. AJ goes for the Styles Clash, but misses. Then there's a twist of fate, which also misses. And then there's a missed Pele kick. And Jeff sends AJ face first into the canvas. Jeff goes up to the top rope, and AJ knocks him off. There's a kick to the midsection of AJ, and Jeff tries the twist of fate, but AJ sends him face first into the... but then AJ sends him face first into the buckle. AJ gets up to the top rope, phenomenal forearms to bring him to victory. And then, as Jeff is writhing in pain, Elias comes out of nowhere and hits Jeff in the back with his guitar.
Great. Otherwise, I thought this was actually a good match. Actually, I liked watching Jeff Hardy here, and AJ wasn't too bad. Just the dumb ending.
Yeah.
But after that, we had R-Truth backstage being interviewed, and he said he's basically just scouting the upcoming match for, who would be challenging him next for the title, or who would be going after him for the 24/7, 48/7, I-95 South. There's a new one. There was a new one. I can't remember it. Oh man, this is gonna bother me, but...
You want me to tell you what it is?
What is it?
It's 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South, European 24/7 championship, or European championship.
Oh god. And then he described his name as being R. Franklin Dangerously Copperpot Truth. And
three middle names.
3 middle names. And then we move on to the next match.
Yeah. We're back to the same old 24/7 championship matches. This one is Akira and Drew versus Lucha House Party. This would decide who gets to challenge R-Truth next for the title, even though it really doesn't matter as long as they roll him up in the hallway with the referee present, but that's fine. We start off with Lindsay versus Tozawa first. There is a punch to the jaw of Lindsay, and Gulak gets in. There's a team clothesline from Gulak and Akira to Lindsay. Gulak does a backbreaker onto Lindsay, and then Lindsay pulls off a facebuster onto Gulak. Truth comes out because as he said, he's going to scout the match, which is heinously dangerous. And Tozawa immediately is like, all right, tries to roll him up. Grand Metalik then dives out onto him. R-Truth still manages to break free. There's a kick to the face from Lindsay, but Gulak pulls him off of Truth before the count. And then Lindsay goes up to the top rope, but dives instead of onto R-Truth, onto Drew Gulak. Which means Lindsay wins. He pinned Gulak, but the object of affection is right ringside, so everyone immediately is like, so we're going to try to roll you up now, and then everyone just tries to pin Truth outside the ring. He managed to escape somehow by, the skin of his teeth.
Did you mention that, what was it? Drew Gulak pinned... Oh, no. Lindsay pinned Drew Gulak?
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, we had a wonderful addition, Firefly Funhouse. Where there is a special guest arriving, for a little tea party. And it was Alexa Bliss. She gave some tea to Ramblin' Rabbit. Ramblin' Rabbit thought it was delicious, and Alexa Bliss described the secret ingredient as arsenic, thus melting off Ramblin' Rabbit's face and insides. Bray and Alexa were dying laughing. Also, one thing to point out, Bray Wyatt was dressed as the Mad Hatter and had, just like the Mad Hatter, the note in his hat, which normally is supposed to be like the price that the hat costs. I know it had like a special meaning before that, something like worse. But this time it said 1911, 19-11. And we got a tweet response after we tweeted out asking if anybody has any speculations for it. And it turns out it's just the date that Undertaker debuted 30 years ago.
No, to be fair, so there's speculation. No one really knows exactly what it is. This person just said it in a convincing tone. It could be that Bray Wyatt's first appearance in NXT was in 2011, and I guess his first debut of The Fiend was in 2019. That's a possibility. Or 11 plus 19 is 30. And Riju Dasgupta at Ardor 2000 responded saying that could be, that's because it's been 30 years ago to the day when Taker made his debut. So there's two possible options there.
I thought they meant that 11/19 was the date of the Undertaker's debut. It was November 22nd, 1990. So
that would make sense. 30, but still doesn't make sense.
Right. I don't know. And 11/19 is it's a Thursday, so it's not going to be an episode of any show. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
It's got
no idea. Maybe it's like Bayley and her 1-0 on the chair. That's Bray's record, 1911.
He's won 19 out of his 11 matches?
No, he's had 19 wins, 11 losses.
Oh, okay, maybe.
And then after that, we had an interview with Keith Lee, which wasn't all too interesting. It was kind of talking about Braun and how that match was cheap. Braun went for a dirty hit, low blow as he called it. Yeah, it was nothing special. And then we had a promo with Nia and Shayna, where they were talking to Adam Pearce, and they gave their notes of who will be on Team Raw, assuming both of them will be the team captains individually. And then Adam Pearce just said, whoa, no, I'm going to make an announcement later on. I'll look at these notes and consider. But so far, I guess we don't have a team captain. And I don't think we do for the male team either. And then after that, we went into Elias versus Keith Lee.
Again, another one of those matches. We start off with a headlock on Keith, and then there's a shoulder tackle to Elias as he bounces off the ropes. Elias then sends a shoulder to the side of Keith's head, and then Keith does that thing that impresses everybody because it's just fucking wild. He jumped over Elias, then ducked down, rolling under him, finishing with a massive crossbody, or as I like to call it, the Puma tackle. Lee gets caught in the ropes by Elias and is then a victim to a dropkick through those ropes. Lee sends Elias over the announce desk, pretty much into Samojo's lap. Once we come back from commercial, there's an arm sub on Elias. Keith's setting up for the Spirit Bomb, but Elias punches Keith before pulling off a flying head scissors to the big man. There's a knee to the chin of Keith. Elias gets him outside the ring and just starts bouncing him off whatever surface he can possibly find. Finally, once we're back in the ring, there's a double axe handle to Keith Lee's face. Then a drop knee to Keith Lee. Keith slams Elias into the canvas, and then Elias brings Lee backwards, climbs to the top turnbuckle just in time for Jeff Hardy to arrive, I guess. His music played.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no, his music played as a distraction, and then didn't he appear, like, behind Elias or something?
Not at this time, no. The music played as a distraction while Elias was making his moves on the top turnbuckle. This gives Keith time to get up, grab Elias, throw him down from the top buckle to the ground, and then brings him right into a spirit bomb to win. Then Jeff comes out, smashes a guitar into Elias's neck. Or back. Not neck.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess that happened. Because this is where we're at. I can't wait for the months of this feud before we get any kind of closure in that storyline at all. Any kind of reveal.
I don't think we're going to.
You don't think so?
No. It's been so long.
And I mean, the only one that would make sense for it to be that ran over Elias is Sami Zayn, and he's not on Raw.
Maybe in time for Survivor Series?
Maybe, but Sami Zayn already has a match at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
But
I can be optimistic, but I don't see anything happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, no matter what they do, it won't, really, it won't be satisfying. But after that match, we had the Hurt Business backstage, and said they were there to eliminate Retribution and collect their payment from WWE in gold. And then we had a little promo with Mr. Randall Orton, who was backstage and said that he wasn't scared of anyone trying to beat him on Raw. Boy, is he wrong.
He's a little scared.
Yeah, as we'll see later on tonight. And after that, we go into Hurt Business versus Retribution in an elimination 8-man tag match.
This was a fucking match. My God.
It was.
Also, I just want to point out. Oh yeah, because we never talked about this during the Firefly Funhouse segment. After Alexa Bliss poisons the rabbit, she talks about how she's got Randy coming on to her Moment of Bliss spot at the end of the night, and Bray Wyatt just goes like dead.
Oh
in
yeah,
the face,
and
before slaughtering the rabbit.
He goes dead like that, and right over his shoulder is the painting of the burning house. Did you notice that?
I did. I was thinking about it, and I was like, honestly, I know we tried it once and it didn't work. But I'd love to try again and have a Bray versus Randy fight where he's like, hey, why did you do that?
I don't think there'll be any asking at all. I think it'll be more as, I'm gonna kill you for what you did.
I mean, that's also fair.
Maybe we'll get an appearance from Eric Rowan.
Maybe Luke Harper will finally come back.
No. He is doing just fine on AEW.
I have dreams, okay? They're stupid dreams, but they're dreams. Anyways, we start with Hurt LLC versus Retribution. Crowbar versus Lashley. First, Lashley begins slamming T-Bone's head into the buckle. On the second rope, he punches Mr. Time Zone. And then there's what I believe is called a breakbone by T-Bar. I think that's what they called it. And then several hard fucking hits. Then the momentum's completely stopped by Lashley shoulder tackling T and then pulling off a flatliner onto him. Lashley tags in MVP. He's punching T-Bar for a little while and then bounces his head off of the top buckle. MVP makes one mistake, though. And that's that he takes some time to talk some shit. So Mr. T-Bar sends a knee into the man's midsection, tags Dio in, and Dio's first words, and my God, I want to get this tattooed on my fucking neck. This is for you, Slapjack. And I said, sir?
Oh, God.
In my home? My house of the Lord? And in honor of Slapjack, he drop kicks the top of MVP's spine. Punches him around a little bit. He gets Slapjack in. Little Slapster gets MVP in the corner, starts punching him a lot. Kind of didn't realize that Shane Thorne was consistently a good wrestler. This kind of proved my point for the most part. Thrilled to see him. Love watching him. And Dio, honestly. Dijak, however, has been a bit disappointing, but that's fine. I trust him. I trust him to come around. MVP then trips Jack into the turnbuckle and kicks him in the face. There's a modified suplex to him, and Mustafa breaks up the cover. And then Mia Yim has, like, heroin withdrawal.
Starts, like, scratching herself all over, and it's so weird and uncomfortable. Looks very cringy.
To be fair, my initial suspicion was what it was. It was primarily a distraction technique so that Slapjack was able to roll up MVP and eliminate him. We then go to commercial and the tables are immediately turned because Slapjack is getting absolutely slaughtered by Shelton Benjamin. Lashley gets in and throws Slapjack into the corner. Slapjack keeps kicking Lashley in the face to just keep him away from him. Then there's a spear to the very, very, very dead Slapjack. T-Bar gets back in, starts punching Lashley outside of the ring, and then they just keep punching each other outside of the ring, and then they get counted out. So that's fine. Then, I believe I missed the point where Slapjack got eliminated, so at this point he was eliminated. It was just 2 versus 2. So Dio gets in now versus Cedric. Dio sends Cedric into the canvas. Then there's a drop kick to Dio's ankle, which takes the man down quite a couple notches. Cedric takes Mustafa off the apron, and then Dio chokes Cedric out. It doesn't matter. There's a neuralizer to Dio. The neuralizer to Dio. He is pinned. Now it's just Mustafa versus Shelton versus Cedric. Shelton immediately gets in, flattening Mustafa. Cedric gets in. In the process of an Irish whip to Mustafa from Cedric, Mustafa uses the momentum to dropkick Shelton Benjamin off of the apron, and then comes back around to kick Cedric in the face. Cedric then does a nasty back body drop to Mustafa. He kicks Mustafa free from the ring. And Mustafa says, well, I'm not winning this fight, so I may as well go out doing what I can do, which is bringing out a steel chair and shoving it into Cedric's tummy and then taking a couple shots on his back. Shelton comes in. He's pissed off. He's kind of prowling. Mustafa goes to run up the ramp to escape, but then MVP and Lashley come down. So Mustafa just parkours his ass out of the fucking Amway Center. And now for our grand return.
Angel Garza is back, I guess. And he's flirting with Mandy and Dana. Meanwhile, I think, who was it, Nia and Shayna come in and they're like, hey, get out of here. They tell them to just scram. And they're continuing to talk strategy about Survivor Series. But then Dana mentions taking the titles from Nia and Shayna right before walking out.
The whole reason that Nia and Shayna came over was because they're assuming that they're the team captains.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dana and Mandy are like, oh, if you're the team captains, have you seen us? And I said, yeah, you guys have had 2 matches and you won both of them. Good job, guys. Vibes.
And one of them had like a third tag partner too.
Yeah.
But after that we had Drew McIntyre versus The Miz.
This was a good fucking fight.
It was, shockingly.
You know what? This is exactly what Drew needed. He needed to lose that title and start doing something completely different while also still doing the same shit that he's always doing.
Yeah.
Which is what he's good at. We had Miz versus Drew McIntyre. I was not excited for this matchup. Yeah, more than I bargained for. Morrison immediately tries to distract Drew by trying to take out his leg, but Drew is not that stupid. He doesn't fall for it quite like Otis might. Immediately catches Miz as he's trying to take advantage, slams him into the buckle. That knee is fucking hurting him, but he still manages to club the Miz. And then McIntyre sent him first into the stairs. That's not a problem. Then there's a kick to the midsection of McIntyre, and McIntyre responds with a couple of chops to the Miz's chest that resound throughout the entire goddamn building. It's kind of horrifying. You do have to wonder, though, like, with all these, like, shots to the chest and stuff, like, yeah, wrestling is wrestling, but at the same time, like, my dude did fall quite the distance onto a surface. I feel like that's still gotta hurt, like, a little bit at the, like, the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like you wake up and you're like, I don't know. Then there's a shot to the McKnee and a DDT to Drew, which was very cool. Very low to the ground, too, actually. You vibing? Alright. Just made a noise. So the ref yells at The Miz. Johnny takes advantage of this and attacks Drew. I think he punches him. The angle is shitty. But he punches Drew through the ropes. Then The Miz kicks Drew in the face. McIntyre grabs The Miz by the throat. And The Miz does what he does best, which is giving that shocked and horrified look. Drew just tosses him into the opposite corner. There's a modified knee breaker to McIntyre, and he's just getting kicked to pieces in the corner. The Miz gets a running start towards McIntyre, but Mr. McIntyre clotheslines the piss out of him. We get our overhead toss belly to bellies, back to back. Love to see it. Love to know it exists still. And then the ideal Drew McIntyre move. A neck breaker right into a kip up on that damaged goddamn knee.
Oh, man. If there's one thing Drew loves, it's kipping up when his knee is busted.
It's always like, it always looks like it's an afterthought, too, where he just, like, kips up and he's like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, dude. You fucking hurt that shit. Like, 5 years ago. But then we get, I guess this is Drew's new constantly failing move, a failed Future Shock DDT. And he's sent free of the ring. He claymores, so John Morrison comes up to him with the suitcase overhead, about to, like, tucky McIntyre. The moment Drew sees that, he lifts his little leggy up and says, nope. kicks the suitcase out of John's hand, then takes the suitcase and just fucking yeets the thing up the goddamn ramp. My hero.
Not only does he yeet it up the ramp, he yeets it into lights. Something definitely broke.
Like, first of all, that looks like a shitty plastic little suitcase. So one, the suitcase had to have broken.
Mm-hmm.
Two, all of those lights, the way that they're angled, the way the suitcase landed on them, I was like, yeah, that's property damage right there. And then Drew gets back in the ring, claymores the goddamn soul out of the Miz, and we're back, baby. We're back on that road to championship number 2, I'm telling you. Yahoo! This was a hell of a fucking match. This had my blood pumping. Gets the people going.
But then after that, we had a promo with the New Day, where they're dressed up as the Street Profits.
The New Day Profits.
The New Profits.
Ooh, sounds like something Seth would like.
And they basically announce their match against Street Profits at Survivor Series. And then they also announce a bunch of other matches for Survivor Series, including Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. What else was there? Hurt Business comes in and they announce Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
That was announced during the match, but still, I think this was the first time we saw the poster.
Oh, okay.
During the Hurt Business Retribution match.
Oh. Were there any other matches announced?
I'm trying to think. I feel like we saw a lot of shit announced.
Yeah.
I know that Hurt Business came in and they threatened to take the tag team titles. I know that that's what happened when they came in.
And they also said, don't forget our match where Bobby Lashley will take on the Intercontinental Sami Zayn.
Dude, I'm terrified for that match. I don't know if Sami's coming out alive.
He's gonna pull some dirty shit.
Oh yeah, it's Sami Zayn. What do you expect?
I'm here for it.
I'm excited. I love this promo though.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Oh well, sorry. Did you say Asuka versus Sasha?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Asuka comes in and speaks more English than I've ever heard her speak in my time watching her. Yeah, she spoke mostly English.
Oh. Okay.
I know she said, "We want the smoke."
She did say that. That's true.
Yes, Bluchus. Slap Chad W tonight.
Slap Chad W. Oh. Dude, Shane Thorne can fucking fight.
He can.
Just need to start tucking that head a little more. He's gonna break his goddamn neck one of these days, and I know it.
But then after the New Day, we had a promo with Drew for some reason.
Oh my god, this asshole.
He mentions that this is gonna be the first step on his way to the title again. And then says there might be a lot of other steps in the way and blah blah blah, and kind of teases that he's gonna be out there or watching the moment of bliss. Drew's gotta stop. They gotta stop giving him so many promos.
He needs a nap. Give him a nap. Force him to take a nap. Put him in the 4th floor break room. I don't care. Dude's gonna break his goddamn body before he's like 35. I'm pretty sure he's 34, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew basically, like, he comes out and he's like, oh, did I hear that Randy's gonna be on Moment of Bliss? Well, you can guarantee that there will be something happening there. And I was like, Andrew, stop. Sit down. Feels like I'm dealing with like a small child. Like, no, we're not doing that tonight.
Mm-hmm. But then we have a we have Pat Buck and Adam Pearce in the ring, and they're announcing the women's team for Survivor Series, the Raw women's team, and it includes Nia and Shayna, Mandy and Dana, and then a fifth member that will be decided at a fatal four-way. And I'm kind of annoyed that they had two full tag teams in there as opposed to having just one person representing them. Like, I highly doubt Raw would ever have the New Day, like, both Xavier and Kofi. Like, you could have skipped the fatal four-way, which, by the way, involved Peyton, Lacey, Lana, and Nikki Cross. You could have just had Peyton, Lana, Lacey, Shayna, and or Nia, or Shayna or Nia, and Mandy. Because Mandy's the one they want to feature right now. You don't have full tag teams. It's dumb. Ruins the whole point of these mixed Survivor Series matches. Yeah.
May I say what's been on my mind for?
Oh, I know you're going to anyway.
Oh, I'm going to, because here's the fucking thing, brother. Let me just ask a little question. The little question I have to ask tonight is, first of all, you're right. How the fuck are you gonna make this the team with two sets of tag teams? Where the fuck did Mickie James go? I don't like seeing her, but like, where the fuck did she go?
She had like an injury, I think.
Ah, fuck it, I don't give a shit. Anyways. How are y'all gonna make me sit through so many goddamn men's matches, which I'm not complaining about entirely. I don't mind those matches. I don't. How are you gonna make me sit through that shit and then be like, and here's the women, I guess. I don't know. They don't wrestle, do they? Do they wrestle? We don't remember, actually. Like, Christ!
I think the whole reason they did this was because in order to have matches for the spots in the team, you would need double the amount of spots. So they would need 10 women's wrestlers, and there aren't 10 women's wrestlers on Raw.
Yes, and you see why that's a problem.
Yeah. Actually, there might you had 4 in the tag teams, you had 4 in the ring. Oh no, maybe they don't have 10. They could have used Billy Kay.
Who?
Yeah. They did Natty. There's 10 right there.
Natty! Where the fuck is Natty? Time and time again, I get everything I could ever dream of in like a woman's match, and then they take it 30,000, that wasn't even a number, 30,000 steps lower by being like, and let's just read the names for the women because I don't like want to actually have to put on a wrestling match for these guys. You're not going to be interested. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Also, really quickly, I just want to mention something not really related to Raw at all, but Pat McAfee tweeted that he revealed that he paid off Ridge Holland to attack Adam Cole, and then once Ridge got hurt, he made a deal with Oney Lorcan since he was the man who injured Ridge Holland.
You know what that means? There isn't infighting in Undisputed Era! Woo! I mean, they're all dead, but woo!
There still might be.
Yeah, but now Kyle looks good because he didn't team up with the two guys that were conspiring against him. And his brothers. Bitch.
Yeah.
I'm still mad. This hasn't detracted from my anger. It's just added a secondary layer, like oil and water, of joy. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. I know you're just saying.
I want to see a little fucking respect. That's all I want. I don't think I asked for that much. I really don't.
So do you want to get us into the Fatal 4-Way?
I mean, if I don't, I'm going to just start screaming because this was also a shitty goddamn match.
Up until the very end.
True. But the thing is like, also when they do these things where it's like, Fatal 4-Way or like Royal Rumble, or sorry, Battle Royale. It's like, here's a bunch of ladies, they're going to fight each other, you're not going to be able to keep up with anything that's happening, and then somebody wins.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, alright. Because like, you can't get a good read on any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the middle of a match, because like, they get one move off and then they're socked by someone else. It's like, oh god, it makes me so mad. So Lana gets all the ladies out of the ring to start. Peyton does that shit that she does. I think it's like a modified crucifix submission hold against the ropes. I think that's what it's called. I could be making shit up. But it's bonkers. I know I've seen Andrade do it, and I think that's what they called it. It's still cool as shit. That's probably the coolest fucking thing that happened this entire time. But it was on Nikki against the ropes. Peyton then... Peyton does something to Lana. My note says Peyton, BVS, Lana.
BS?
It's a misspelling of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you looked at some of these notes, I don't think you'd know what they were. But Peyton ends up throwing Lana straight out of the ring. She sweeps Lacey away. Then there's a bulldog on Nikki, which Tom Phillips didn't even call correctly. He just called it a takedown, and I was like, that's not what that is, but thank you, Tom. Tom also messed up the name of one of the women. I think he called Lana Peyton at one point, or vice versa. That's fine. They're all names and faces at the end of the day, aren't they? Anyways, then there's a crossface onto Nikki. Peyton sends Nikki over the ropes, and Nikki lands on the apron, bumps Peyton's little head into the top turnbuckle, multitasks DDT onto Lacey, onto the ground. Nikki goes up to the top rope and crossbodies Peyton. Somehow that is not what wins the match. Nikki then tries to suplex Lana over the ropes, but receives a kick to the head from Lana instead. And then Lacey comes in. There's a woman's right to Lana. Peyton kicks Lacey in the face. Peyton then puts Nikki on the top buckle. There's a big right to Nikki from Lacey, and then a facebuster to Lacey from Nikki. Peyton kicks Nikki in the head, climbs up. Nikki slams Peyton back first down to the ground. Then it's Nikki and Lacey again. There's a massive fucking suplex, technically. I don't know who was the suplex victor and who was the suplex loser here, because it was Peyton came in. It was one of those triple suplexes. I don't fucking know. I guess technically Peyton wins on that one. Lana takes advantage of these ladies all being slammed onto the canvas and wins. And all the ladies, specifically Dana and Mandy, are like, yay, good job, yay. And Nia, shockingly, is like, good job, come here, let me hug you, let me give you a little hug. And Lana's like, me? Okay. And Nia hugs her and hugs her and hugs her and doesn't let go and just raises her eyebrows at Shayna, who clears the announce desk. And once again, through the desk, we have a game tonight, boys!
Forget Roman, forget Randy, forget Drew, forget Retribution. This is the storyline of WWE. Lana, Nia, and the table.
And the announce desk.
Mm-hmm.
You like this look?
Yeah. Mostly because I can't see your earrings connected to anything, so they just look like big floating white puffs.
These are my orbs. If I didn't have like a headache sort of brewing, and I know if I keep yelling it's gonna get worse, I'd say more shit. But I have work to do after this podcast, so I'm gonna hold back, and I'll wait till Wednesday, when inevitably I will see some good women's wrestling, and then I'll have room to comment again about how fucking stupid this is. Anyways, Sheamus versus Matt Riddle.
No,
I think we just dive right into this.
No,
oh, we don't? Okay.
I
thought that was weird.
There was a promo with Retribution right before the match.
Okay.
Where Mustafa is just pissed off about losing to Hurt Business. And everyone on Retribution's like injured. I don't think there was even much here to really talk about. They're just pissed off. That's really it. Yeah.
Mustafa says some weird shit. He's like, Retribution is not a family. We're not a team. And I was like, be nice. Slapjack passed out in the canvas for you, dude.
Slapjack's just like, wait, what? Brothers?
We're not a family?
Dad? He looks up at
Papa?
T-Bar. T-Bar just glares down at him.
He's like, Papa. I recognize that look in your eyes as love.
Punches Slapjack right in the face.
Slapjack. Papa, I love you too. What is Dio then in that family? Is Dio the mom?
Dio's the weird uncle.
Because I don't think Mia's not the mother of that family. I think in theory, because Dio stood up for Slapjack, I feel like he's the mother.
Mia is the normal sister who moved out a long time ago and shows up occasionally.
You're telling me Mia, the one who had a scratching fit, is the normal sister?
Liz, relative to everyone else in that group.
That's fair.
And meanwhile, Mustafa is he's the brother, the older brother who just takes charge constantly, but can't manage to do anything himself.
T-Bar father, I'm still saying base is mother. There's got to be a mom, and Dio stood up for Slapjack. But
the uncle always steps up for the son.
Okay. My uncle's never spelled my name right to begin with, so. They still spell my sister's name wrong.
But it's like the cool uncle. Like the cool uncle who lets the kids do... Okay, I'm gonna ignore what's happening right now. But you got the cool uncle who lets the kids do what their parents won't let them do.
I guess that's fair. That's a fair point. I'll take it.
But yeah, we have Matt Riddle.
Screenshot my Batman. I can't do it. I got both hands me.
Hey, I would need to open up a program to screenshot.
I'll have to watch the podcast later. This is my Halloween costume. I'm just really tired, honestly. Yeah. Sheamus versus Matt Riddle, aka young man versus senior citizen. Immediately we go into a massive takedown to Riddle. Riddle transitions really smoothly into an armbar, and Sheamus transitions right back into a triangle sub. And Riddle breaks free and just wiggles his little finger like, no. Then there's a spine buster to Riddle and an arm sub. And then Riddle suplexes Sheamus, and once again, I'm gonna beg for Sheamus to tuck his fucking head. His head smacked the mat when he went down. And I was like, my sweet old man, please. I beg. Then there's a double wrist lock on Sheamus, but Sheamus just punches Riddle to get free. There's a backbreaker to Riddle before Sheamus slings him over onto the top rope, driving the rope into his stomach. And then we have, as we often do, and I just learned what this move was called, and I just learned how to pronounce it, I'll probably say it wrong. The thing where he punches the person over and over against the chest while their back is into the ropes. I didn't realize that had a name. I just kind of thought that was like his thing. But it's called the Beats of Bowron. I think. It's about how Tom pronounced it. So, because I thought he said Bowery.
The Beasts of Bowery.
Like, okay, sure. I guess Bowery Ballroom's kind of cool. And then you saw this. I didn't. Matt Riddle went to go do an arm submission, I think, on Sheamus while he was still standing on the apron, and it looked like Riddle just fucking slipped entirely. Like, he fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed this out to me. I didn't see this directly. I just kind of saw the aftermath of, like, Riddle clutching, like, Sheamus's forearm, more or less.
What did I point out?
You noticed this after the Beats of Bower. Sheamus's arm was draped over the ropes while Matt Riddle was, like, trying to hold on to it, as if, like, he was trying to do, like, a submission hold.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when he transitioned into that, he just, like, slipped off the mat. And all I know is I heard you
yeah.
say, oh, that's not how that was supposed to go.
No, yeah, because he was trying to do the same thing that Peyton did, basically. Kind of that, whatever it's called, like the submission hold on hanging off of the ropes.
Crucifix?
Yeah, but I guess his grip kind of slipped and he fell straight on his back onto the mat, onto the apron.
Should have done his squats, I guess, according to his wife. So that was her whole complaint with Becky. She was like,
yeah,
women
no,
these
I
days
got
don't
that.
squat.
I got that.
Okay. You could laugh at my jokes every once in a while. Be an active participant.
I'm an active participant.
Riddle goes off
laughing.
That's fun for me. Riddle goes off the middle rope, sending Sheamus to the ground. Once again, he goes off the ropes and directly into an Irish Curse backbreaker. We get a Sparta kick to Sheamus and then an overhead kick, and now Riddle's just kicking Sheamus however he possibly can, and then he does the senton. I will not lower myself to calling it what it is.
Proton.
Which is a senton. Sheamus then sends his knees into Riddle's face. He gets up onto the top buckle. Riddle meets him on the second rope. Then Riddle climbs up to the top rope with him. Does an exploder suplex off the top rope. Then tries his little floating bro and lands right onto Sheamus's raised fucking knees and just bounces. He gets a sleeper hold on Sheamus, and Sheamus breaks free by knocking Riddle into the buckle repeatedly. The moment he steps away, Riddle jumps up on his back again, tries to do it a second time. Sheamus just says, fuck this, and launches Riddle over his shoulders. And after a missed brogue kick, Sheamus is thrown into a German suplex, breaks free, a real brogue kick that actually fucking works this time, and Sheamus is now the third person added to the Raw men's team. It is now AJ, Keith, and Sheamus. Fucking awesome lineup. Really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, real quick.
Not excited about the women's lineup, but
before we get to a moment of bliss and the final thing of the night, I saw somebody posted on Reddit the moment with Mia Yim scratching herself during that match. Apparently the ref just straight up calls her Mia at one point. And also somebody commented on this saying, Mia, please, your seizure is ruining the match. And that killed me.
I wonder if, like, the ref just didn't quite, like, maybe he knew there was going to be a distraction of some sort, but, like, he saw that and he was like, should I be concerned?
Maybe she was a little too convincing.
Yeah. I mean, she was kind of convincing.
Yeah.
In my heart, I was like, this is a distraction, whatever. But at the same time, I was like, or is this, like, a really bad storyline? Or is this real? I don't really know. Or all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow.
Well, now we move on to a moment of bliss. Special guest, Randall Keith Orton.
Or cow.
Randall Cow Orton. So he comes in, and he refuses to sit. Wisely.
And Alexa Bliss looks so cute.
She looked like a child.
True. But also, 100%, as we go further into this, for anyone who saw that, that is the absolute vibe I want to exude on a daily basis. Like, that is what I aim to be. Just super cute and fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
My only dream.
But after a little bit of back and forth where Randy looked like he didn't want to participate in any way whatsoever, we had Randy kind of anticipated the Fiend coming out. He was like, if he wants to fight me right now, then he should come out and do it. And then Drew McIntyre comes out. He gets in the ring. Randy backs out of the ring, and Drew just throws everything out of the ring. Drew's in a throwing mood today. He is mad. First, he threw the briefcase. Then he threw the chairs, and then the table, which had the mic on it. He said, fuck it all. And Alexa Bliss is now sitting on the turn post, just laughing at everything. And Randy tries to get away. Oh, no. Before Randy tries to get away, as they're both in the ring, the lights go dark. And the Fiend's high-pitched sound comes. And Randy's already on his way up the ramp, trying to get the hell out of Dodge because the Fiend is mad about the house.
And the weird part, too, was that when the lights came back on, the first thing we see is Drew's all alone in the ring. And I was like, I don't want this storyline. This wasn't what I asked for.
But Randy is staring at Drew, who's kind of smiling at him. Randy knows that there's somebody behind him. And we see the camera pans over, and we see the Fiend. And now Randy is stuck between an insane demon, mad about his house being burned down, and a 6-foot-plus angry Scottish man whose title was taken away from him the night before. And I don't know which would be better to fight, but Randy goes after Drew. This is his only option. And they brawl for the rest of the episode as the Fiend walks out. And I like this. I think this is really interesting.
I like that we could see the Fiend walking out as the fight ensued with Drew and Randy. You could just see the Fiend just walking off screen. I was like, bye.
I wonder if
because the cat was go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say I wonder if Bray and Alexa are gonna maybe take advantage of Drew's anger at Randy and maybe try and coerce him into bringing out the Scottish psychopath again.
I don't know about that, just because Drew's whole thing tonight was like, I'm pissed off on the inside, but on the outside, I'm just gonna vibe. Shit happens. My fault. Say lovey. I don't think that they could do that, and I don't think that that's their goal, and I don't think it should be their goal on a writer's standpoint, just because, the Fiend has beef now with Retribution and the Hurt Business. The Fiend has beef with Randy. I don't think we can handle the Fiend also having some dealings under the table with Drew.
To be fair, I don't think he has beef with the Hurt Business or Retribution. I think the season premiere, they just wanted him just making a big appearance and fighting a big group of people.
I also think that what would be the most beneficial and the most logical way to go about it would be to use Randy's paranoia about Drew obviously being pissed off about his title being gone, the Fiend being after him, to make him kind of more messy in his fights.
Mm-hmm.
To be just a little less in control of himself. And I think that would be the perfect balance between Drew and the Fiend being in cahoots. Where it's they don't actually have to be together, but their effects have the same outcome.
Do you think we could see a triple threat match between these guys for the WWE Championship?
I don't see Drew ever. Well, okay. Actually, when you put it like that, yeah, maybe. Maybe. Um, I don't know. I think that's gonna be one of those things that like the coming episodes will tell us where this is going because
Mm-hmm.
I really don't, and I haven't known what the Fiend's trajectory is with anything, especially now that he's also technically intertwined with Kevin Owens.
I
I
think
know he's on SmackDown, but
I think his whole thing is he is the embodiment of Bray's anger and like his
right.
temper. And so
Um,
whatever Bray's mad about, he goes after.
I think my thing though is that like Randy's a little superhuman in the sense that like the way he deals with stuff is a little like he's a little mentally elevated as far as like if a person actually thought the way he does, they'd probably be considered manic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whereas like Drew's persona or character or whatever in the ring seems to be like the most realistic version of a man that you could possibly get. Um,
Scottish man.
maybe only paralleled with like Apollo or Ricochet.
No, I think maybe the Miz and Morrison.
No, because I was actually gonna say like the Miz and Morrison are clearly playing somebody, and you can tell that. I feel like because Drew, like, I feel like you're just seeing Drew, and the same thing with Apollo and Ricochet, where it's like I just feel like I'm seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing like a person or something like that.
I think that's the difference between
I don't know if that makes sense.
like I think you're just pointing out a face. Because a face doesn't have any character. They're kind of just supposed to be we're supposed to relate to them.
No, because I mean, even Drew Gulak, well, technically it's heel. There's plenty of faces that are still an elevated version of a person. Like with the New Day, or even with Daniel Bryan, who's like just hyper off the fucking walls constantly. Like he had moments, especially after he became the GM of SmackDown, where he was like a person. But for most of his career, he's kind of just been like this elevated, like I'm Daniel Bryan kind of person. I don't know. I just can't see it working and making sense, I guess, for Drew to be intertwined in any way with the Fiend.
I'm
And
sure
maybe I'm gonna be wrong.
I can almost guarantee that they will put him in that position because it's a new storyline they can work out, and it's their storyline. They're capable of doing whatever they want.
I can technically, I will say, I can see Drew fighting the Fiend. I just can't quite see it being about Randy,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
I don't know. But we'll see. Now that we did all that, we do predictions after best of the night, right? All right, so stick around, everybody, for after bests of the night for our predictions for NXT's Halloween Havoc. But right now, we're going to pick the bests of the night, and it's about time I change these labels. Slowing down right now.
We also have to discuss what the rules will be for Halloween Havoc, only because it is a Wednesday in the middle of the week. I can't promise my ass can get drunk, and I can't promise my ass is about to make the right choices when we make these predictions.
Well, we'll see about that. Also,
Okay.
I don't know if every match has been revealed for Halloween.
Well, we're gonna make the bets on what we can.
Try to find cards. Okay, updated. Havoc card. Show me something. So difficult to find. Eh. Difficult. This isn't what that is. I am having such a hard time finding the matchups for this. Alright, whatever. A prediction. Show me matches. Show me matches. You're not going to show me any matches? Are you serious? It's so difficult.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't find like any.
I think we can make the bets on the matches that we know are going to happen.
I just want to make sure that we have everything. Let's see. This. Okay. Okay. I got it finally. All right. Where's a pen? I need a pen. All right. So let's start off with the NXT North American Championship between Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano.
We aren't doing that right now. We're doing best of the night.
You're right. Why?
You got too sucked in.
I did. I got way too sucked in. My God, my head is not in the right place right now. I haven't even drank anything today.
And I have.
All right, so promo of the night. Now that we're here. So we start off with Drew McIntyre talking in the ring, you know, being the monologue-y person that he is. Then we had AJ Styles talking in the ring. Don't remember a single thing he said. We had the interview with R-Truth, where he revealed his 3 middle names. Then we had the Firefly Funhouse, which was fun as hell. I've been loving every single edition of Firefly Funhouse that they've been putting out. Especially with every way that they can kill Ramblin' Rabbit. And this time, arsenic poisoning. We had
And being swatted.
And being swatted, right.
In the traditional sense.
And then we had an interview with Keith Lee, which was lame. Promo with Shayna and Nia, which was lame. Hurt Business promo, which was lame. Randy promo, was pretty lame. Angel Garza promo with Mandy and Dana, that was lame. The New Day promo, this was fun as hell. Seeing the New Day dressed up as the Street Profits was great. We got to see all the matches coming up for Survivor Series. That's the name of it. Then we got a Drew McIntyre promo, another one. We had the Retribution promo, which was dumb. A Moment of Bliss, which was fun. It was good. It's piquing my interest. I'm not going to say it's the best we had tonight because it didn't give us a whole lot of substance. It just eased a lot to come. But I'm going to say my pick for the promo of the night, Firefly Funhouse.
I have to agree. I think because it brought back the it brought back storylines that are older now, and I like seeing that Bray still has just as much fucking rage about it.
Oh yeah.
A close second for me was definitely the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this definitely had a lot more going on, and I'm happy that we got this.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving quickly ahead to Wrestler of the Night, we start off with AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy. I thought AJ looked the best here. I mean, neither Jeff nor AJ looked amazing today. But you know, AJ still looked good. He looked decent. He looked better than his worst. And this was far from a bad match up until the last 5 seconds. And then we had Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak versus Lucha House Party. I guess I'll pick Lindsay, but the most we had of everybody was like 5 seconds, so I don't know. There was nothing really impressive in this match as far as fighting goes.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had Elias versus Keith Lee, and you know what? I really liked Elias in this match. Elias was pulling off some stuff that I never expected Elias would do. Like, he pulled off a Hurricane Rana on Keith Lee, which looked awesome. I was fully impressed with everything Elias did today. And I thought, when I read that he was getting a huge push, now it looks evident that he is after his showing today. I wish Keith had gotten a clean finish off of him. But still, Elias looked fantastic, and I really want to see where they put him next. And then after that, we had Hurt Business versus Retribution, and I'll pick Bobby for this. Bobby looked like he was out for blood. He looked every hit really hurt. Bobby's always really talented in that sense. He's always bringing so much life to the ring in the Hurt Business. And there was even a point, I saw a picture on Reddit that somebody screenshotted of Bobby Lashley holding up Slapjack in a suplex with one arm and posing for a picture as he's doing it. It was so funny, and Bobby is so talented. And then we move on to Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. I'll pick Drew McIntyre for this, even though The Miz had a great showing today. Drew just had so much personality, like he always does in the ring. Although it wasn't comparable to his match yesterday against Randy Orton. Drew still looked fantastic, and I liked him. He was good. He was great. And then we had Nikki versus Peyton versus Lacey versus Lana in the Fatal 4-Way. And I guess I liked Peyton the most. I don't know. This match was tough. I guess I liked Peyton the most because she got off a bulldog in that weird crucifix move thing on the ropes.
Yeah.
And then we go into the last match of the night, which is Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. I'll pick Sheamus for this, mostly because Matt Riddle did not look like he was on top of his game today, especially with that botched move on the apron. Sheamus looked like he was, like, you could see his thought process, like when he was panicking, when he was focused. He looked great. I don't think he was the best today, but I still think he looked really great. Now, Wrestler of the Night for Raw tonight. My pick. You will 100% hate me for this. I gotta go with Elias. Elias going up against Keith Lee, he looked better than I'd ever seen him before. Again, his Hurricane Rana that he pulled off on Keith Lee, his overall just brutality going up against this massive man. I mean, we've never seen this version of Elias before. He looked like somebody who could contend for a title. It does also help. It does also help that everyone else didn't look amazing today. It was very much a post pay-per-view episode. But
yeah, I don't agree with you. I choose Drew McIntyre.
Of course you do.
You're so funny. I'm choosing him because, one, he fell off of a cell last night, and he still looked fucking incredible tonight. And on top of that, all the shit that tag teams often tend to pull on singles wrestlers when, like, you know, with, like, distracting them and, like, allowing for their distractions to turn the match. Drew was on top of that shit. Drew was not phased for a fucking second, in spite of the fact that he fell into a table last night from a large height. And he proved this last night even when Randy tried to get, like, the first hit on him and Drew wouldn't even let him. Oh, cat. I thought that he looked amazing. I thought he looked way better than I expected him to today. You can shake your head as much as you want. Elias kind of, I don't even know what, like, I kind of thought you were going to say Bobby Lashley. I was going to say, maybe. I genuinely just thought that Elias looked like a big goofball tonight. I thought Drew looked really good. He was on top of his shit.
I mean,
and he knew what the fuck he was doing to avoid getting fucked over by Morrison.
I mean, you mentioned the tag team thing. It was beat up a lot by Morrison and a turned around ref before noticing any of the tag team stuff.
The only time that Drew got hit because of a distraction was when Miz was arguing with the ref and John punched him in the face.
Yeah.
That was once. That was it. That was one time. Of all the other times that there was an attempt to distract him or get over on a distraction. For example, John tried to take his legs out right in the beginning. He knew that was going to happen. He didn't let it happen. Johnny tried to hit him with the suitcase. He knew that was going to happen. He claymored that shit and then threw it down the fucking ramp so that it was out of the fucking way. I mean,
all those senses is just because it's written into the storyline.
And so was everything that happened with Elias tonight.
I mean, him pulling off great moves.
Storyline. Him
pulling off great moves is a result of great choreography and athleticism.
So you're telling me that the Claymore doesn't count, that the overhead toss belly to belly back to back suplexes that we got doesn't count. The neck breaker into a kip up doesn't count.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that him being aware of the other tag team member doesn't count because it's just them planning that out beforehand and saying, all right, Drew, you're going to acknowledge that there's another tag team member. It's like, okay. You can't chalk that down to awareness.
Okay, so fine. Then let me talk about the massive fucking claymore he sent into Miz's chin, or the suplexes that he did that looked still amazing in spite of the fact that he even kicked up and didn't fall over immediately was pretty fucking shocking to me.
We watch Drew McIntyre do a claymore kick every single week. I don't think that's anything special. And every wrestler pulls off a suplex. So I will have to disagree with you. If anyone in the
Okay.
chat wants to help solve this, help settle this disagreement, choose between Elias and Drew McIntyre for tonight's best wrestler of the night. And until then, we'll be moving on to the match of the night, which I don't think there'll be any disagreement here, because we'll both pick Lucha House Party versus Tozawa and Drew Gulak. But yeah, let us know what you think in the chat between Drew McIntyre and Elias. Who should get the best wrestler of the night? So, match of the night. We start off with AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy, where, I don't know, this match was it was good. It was like very average, I'd say. And then it had the subpar ending, which kind of ruined it all. But still a decent showing from AJ and Jeff. And then we had Tozawa and Gulak versus Lucha House Party, where this wasn't necessarily a match for wrestling. This was a match for story and comic relief. And I think it was great in that sense. I actually really enjoyed R-Truth kind of being assaulted by every single wrestler in the ring, but breaking out every single time, and kind of every pin was a little different. I really liked that, and I liked everything around that, but as far as the actual sanctioned match itself, it was okay. And then we had Elias versus Keith Lee, which was alright. I mean, the dumb ending again with the distraction and everything, which directly resulted in Keith Lee winning. They really got to give Keith a clean win for once. Yeah, and it was alright. Elias had a good showing. Keith had a good showing up until the end. Yeah. And then we had Her Business versus Retribution, which was good storytelling. I hated the Mia Yim part. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. That part was really dumb. The fact that it was just a distraction was so stupid. If they made it so that like she was doing something, that would have been maybe a little cool. But no, it was dumb from start to finish. But then we had Drew McIntyre versus The Miz, where The Miz reminded us that he is capable of being one of the best and going after a massive title, taking on Randy Orton. I think that this match really proved his capabilities and gave us a good showing from him and Morrison with Morrison on the sidelines, and had a good interaction from Drew with the briefcase and everything. This was all around a really fun match to watch. I enjoyed everything regarding this match. But on the other end of the spectrum, we have the Fatal 4-Way between Nikki, Peyton, Lacey, and Lana. And this match was... So after that, we had Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. Also, the only good thing that came out of that Fatal 4-Way was Lana being sent through the announce desk again, which is my favorite part of Mondays. And then we have Matt Riddle versus Sheamus, which, it was a good match. Pretty good. It's hard to find anything wrong with it. I mean, there were a couple botches. It was a clean ending, which was great. Both Matt Riddle and Sheamus looked pretty good at the end of it. But again, similar to the AJ Jeff fight, this was very much just, it was good, average. So, with that said, I'm going to go with, for my match of the night, Drew McIntyre versus The Miz.
Thank you. That is what I would have selected as well. That was a very good match, and I liked it a lot. And it helps to pick out what you like a lot when there's a lot of other crappy fucking matches that happened in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match was awesome. It proves that I don't really know what it would take to kill McIntyre at this point. Man seems impervious to literally everything.
Except an RKO.
To be fair, the RKO came after he fell off the cell, so you have to weigh which one killed him first. I mean, even after he fell off the fucking cell, he was still claymoring people. It's like, sir, stop. I'm begging. I do worry sometimes that, like, this is going to reflect badly in the future for him. But in the meantime, I'm having fun. I really like this match. I really like that we got exactly what I was hoping for, which was we still are getting some Drew Randy shit, but, like, Drew is facing newer people, and we're getting a refresh, at least of that storyline, which I think is what we need for a lot of people, but I'm glad we're at least getting it in this context.
Yeah, and I do really enjoy that the lead into this match was just one promo done early on in the night. It wasn't anything extended. It wasn't referencing anything in the past. It was just quickly motivated, and we're quickly out. It's nice.
It just felt like Drew was like, fine, I want to fight somebody. You're here. You've annoyed me. Let's go.
And at the same time, we had The Miz really showing, like, what he's capable of.
It wasn't an Otis squash.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was happy with this. We got more than enough.
So, since we haven't gotten response in the chat regarding the Wrestler of the Night, we'll turn to Twitter to solve that for us between Elias and Drew McIntyre. But to run it back, our promo of the night, Firefly Funhouse. Wrestler of the night, Elias or Drew McIntyre. Match of the night, Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. And now, our NXT Halloween Havoc predictions.
Okay.
And to reiterate,
still have a chance to make this under an hour.
Under
an hour, yep.
Yep, under 1 hour. If you were not here for either SmackDown's post-show or yesterday's Hell in a Cell post-show, with our predictions, what we do is, and I don't know if you'll want to change it up because it is on Wednesday. I know you mentioned something about that. But what we normally do is for every incorrect prediction we make, we have to we add on 1 can of hard seltzer to finish before the end of the podcast. And you look like you want to say something.
I was just going to say, my alteration for myself personally, you don't have to do this. You can do cans of seltzer if you want. I might just make like an extra strong drink and do sips of that. Just because I don't make that face. I have a job in the morning. But just because I have to wake up early, I'll see. And how about this? If I only get like 2 wrong, I'll stick to seltzers. If I get more than 2 wrong, it's going to be 1 hard drink, okay?
Okay.
I think that's fair.
All right. Well,
don't get all disappointed with me. I have to wake up in the morning.
In addition to that rule, whoever has the least prediction or the most correct predictions will be the winner of this pay-per-view, which I don't even know if Halloween Havoc is considered a pay-per-view. Of this
like Great American Bash.
Of this event. Right now, Liz is the reigning champ and has been since Payback. Yeah, because
if you want to tally all of my victories versus all of your victories.
We're talking about reign.
Since the beginning of time.
This reign. Because I won SummerSlam, and you've been winning since then. It's how they do in the WWE.
I probably won't with this one. I probably will not with this one. I can almost guarantee you that.
All right. But the winner decides a punishment for the loser. And that punishment can be anything. So, first match of the night is Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. And this is one of the spin the wheel, make a deal matches. I'm not sure who I want for this, but I'm going to say Johnny.
That makes me feel better because I was going to say Johnny too. I want to take this risk. And I want to see Damian lose that fucking title.
I just think that they will have one title transfer today. At least. And I think Johnny winning it would make the most sense. Especially considering how much they've been amping up like his fear of the wheel. I think it's gonna turn back around when it actually happens. But after that, we have Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. Oh no, Mia, are you okay? And I am going with Io Shirai.
All right. I'm gonna go with Candice.
I'm only going with Io because I have to stand by my prediction that Shotzi will be the next NXT Women's Champion.
I just feel like it's about time that Io loses the title. But this is one of those matches where I think it could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see it go my way.
And again, this is one of those spin the wheel, make a deal matches. But then after that, we have Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis in a Haunted House of Terror match, which that is the match I am most excited for on Wednesday. And I am going to go with Mr. Dexter Lumis.
I just wrote down Dexter Lumis. I feel like he's going to thrive in a terrifying area because that's like his home.
Absolutely. And I think
where he'll feel cozy.
They're definitely setting him up to either be at the very least a very terrifying figure in NXT, and at most a title holder.
I see big things for Dexter, and I think that he's gonna be great. I'm really excited for this match. I'm like, whenever I think about like, oh man, my week sucks. I'm gonna have so much like shit going on. I'm so stressed out, and then I'm like, Dexter Lumis, yay! It's like the one thing I'm like, this will be fun at least.
And my added prediction is somebody will go through a wall during the Haunted House of Terrors match.
Yes, let me type that in so I don't forget it for 14th time.
And
so it is, can I just say, very specifically, it is somebody is getting thrown through a solid fucking wall.
Thrown.
Or a wall of...
A wall...
Whether it's a
wall of the house, indoor, outdoor, thrown, pushed, punched through. A body will go through a wall.
If there is a shed and somebody goes through the wall of the shed, will you say that that counts, Mark? I need to know the stipulations on the stipulations.
If it's clean through the wall, then yes.
Okay. If it's only partway through the wall, then no. So if somebody's fist goes through a wall, that will not count.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
A body will go through a wall.
Like the Kool-Aid Man. Essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. All right. We're looking for a Kool-Aid Man through the wall.
And then last but not least, we have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez. And I am going with Raquel.
Okay. I'm going with Rhea.
The only reason I'm going with Raquel is because Rhea won her cage match against Mercedes, and I don't think that she'll win another big match like this in a row. So, to recap, Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. We both picked Johnny. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. I picked Io. Liz picked Candice. Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis. We both picked Dexter Lumis. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez. I picked Raquel. You picked Rhea?
Right? Picked Rhea.
Okay.
Yes.
And I have an added prediction of that somebody will go through a wall during the Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis match. If I get that right, you have to add on another drink.
Okay. Fair enough.
And yeah, so that leaves 3 opportunities for point differentiation.
All right, that's fair. That's easy. I have some faith that I'm going to lose because it is a night where I'd like to get to bed at a normal time. But
we'll see. Me. We'll see. All right, so you want to close this out tonight?
All right. Thank you for joining us on this Monday Night Raw. Thank you, Splucha, for joining us. We love seeing you here. And if you're not Splucha, but you have also joined us, thank you as well. And if you're joining us in the future, as we draw closer to the elections, I hope it's a better day for you. I really fucking hope it's a better day for you because it's not a good day today. Also, I hope that the Dodgers have won the World Series, but that's just me. Knock on wood. Anyways, yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. Please join us on Wednesday for Halloween Havoc. Mark and I might be dressed up. That might be safe for SmackDown. I haven't actually talked to Mark about this because I have a costume on standby at all times.
I have no costume at all.
You could be Orange Cassidy.
You could be Spider-Man or Cop.
Easy peasy. I don't know if you want to do that for Halloween Havoc or for the match or for the episodes closer to Halloween itself.
No, Halloween Havoc.
Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, it's a Halloween themed episode.
Yeah, sure. So join us on Wednesday. We will be wearing costumes.
Want me to close that now?
Yeah, bring us home.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, hit that follow button down below. You will not want to miss future episodes, especially the next one. We could very possibly be drunk and be regretting all of the decisions we've been making today. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we put out a new video. And check out our live stream too. What are you doing if you're not checking out the live stream? That's the best place to communicate with us and to enjoy the show. But also like and comment the video. Follow us on Twitter. There you can help us solve decisions like the one we had today between Elias and Drew McIntyre for the best wrestler of the night. And you'll also be able to see our picks for wrestler and match of the night in the future, in case you missed an episode but still want to know who wins. And follow our personal Twitters. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And follow my personal Twitch as well. We're combining wrestling with Pokemon, making an awesome network of streamers, personalities, friends, people, everything. It's awesome. It's wonderful. Definitely check it out. We're working on some big stuff. Twitch.tv/Mark Cameron. And the cat looks blissed out.
She's blissed out, man. Moment of bliss with the cat. I felt bad I scared her when I poked her, and so now I've got to scratch her.
Oh. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday for Halloween Havoc.